Hi and welcome guys. I hope my screen is visible to all of you. Just confirm me.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. Yeah. This session is just a bit recapping of what we learned from Terraform point of view, Ansible, just glimpse of that, and then how we are going to integrate those Terraform and Ansible activities into Jenkins, so that whenever you want to uh, do build of our application, so that will help in the pipeline process. Here Terraform Git recap, Ansible recap, and which plugins are available to handle all these things in Jenkins, and this slide demo hands-on. In the Terraform session, we have discussed in detail why Terraform is being used, how that came into picture, what is the advantages of using infrastructure as code, and why Terraform is more preference towards infrastructure as code. So we discuss all those things. So just doing and recap that instead of doing manual creation of the infrastructure, the virtual machines, or you can say the EC2 instance on AWS, which is a bit erroneous as well as time consuming. So to avoid that thing, infrastructure as code is the concept where an infra can be converted into a software code, and that can be reused for the future. You can say that for the future usage. So whenever you want to create any EC2 instance or VM, so you can use that script module, or you can say that Terraform file to create that EC2 instance, and whatever you want to include those security group and all those, that you can also create there. And then whenever you are your work is done, you can simply destroy that with a simple one command. So the right hand side diagram which I am showing here, it is we did a hands-on on this part during our Terraform session. So we created a .tf file where we have mentioned parameters to be used to create an EC2 instance on AWS. Like we have given the access key, secret key, which region we are going to use, which image we are going to use, AMI, and what will be the tag name of that image, and what is the how we are going, which provider we are going to use. So we used AWS. So all those things we created that in the Terraform file, and then we executed that Terraform file to create the EC2 instance. So here listed the list of commands which we have used earlier. Just recapping of this, so that while doing this demo from Jenkins, it will be easy to understand and easy to recap. So whenever you are going to create the Terraform file, so you need to first initialize that you can say that workspace in your local machine, or in your EC2 instance where you are going to install Terraform, and then you execute the Terraform refresh command, so that it will quickly check the availability of your instances in the real world, and it will compare with your Terraform file, that whether this configuration already exists or it is a new one. If it is new one, so it will reply with an empty response, and if it is a new one, then sorry, if it is a existing one, then it will compare the infrastructure and creating a graph in the background, and it will compare those two things. What are the new things? What are the things to be modified, and which things to be destroyed? So after the refresh command, you need to execute the Terraform plan, which will be like your. It will show you an overview of what is going to be done using that Terraform file. So if you are creating a new EC2 instance, so it will show you that it will be newly created, and every parameter of that instance will be in a plus green state. So if you are going to modify anything, like initially we created EC2 and now we are going to add the tag name of that instance, so it will be like your modification of the tag name, because default it was blank. So when you are modifying that, it will be shown as like tilted yellow color or orange color, you can say that. And whenever you are going to delete something, some parameter, or you are going to destroy some instances, it will be shown in the hyphen red color. It will be minus plus. It's like what we see in the git commands as well. So then if it looks like yes, my plan is ready to go and everything looks fine to me, then we can proceed with Terraform apply. So Terraform apply simply executes your .terraform file, PA file, and it will deploy your requirement into the real world. Like your, it will be visible in your AWS console, that which instance or which VM you have created. So there is a small parameters while executing this command like Terraform apply. It will ask you a confirmation whether you are going to proceed or not. So you have to give a yes option in that. So while you are integrating or while you are automating those that process, you need to bypass that thing, or you can say that I can give you a parameter which will not ask me for giving the yes input. So that I will show you how to do that. So there is an option called auto approve. So you can mention that in the command itself, and it will automatically take the yes as a input. So to apply that Terraform command. Then when everything is fine, then you can destroy your infrastructure using Terraform destroy. So here also it will ask you if you want to really proceed or not. So there is an option called -force. To if you give that option, so it will directly destroy your instance. So when you are automating these things, so those options will be helpful. Any questions in the Terraform part?
No, we are good.
Okay. There is one more, two more things are here also. So there is a option called output. So you can store your output of your execution, the Terraform file, into a output.terraform file, where you can define that what kind of output I want. Like if you want to store your EC2 instance public IP, you can mention there. If you want to extract the image of my EC2 instance, you can put it in that file. And while you're executing the Terraform apply, it will first create a EC2 instance, and then the output will be stored in the output.tf file. So whenever you want to use those values in the further scripts, you can simply use those values like Terraform output and the values which you want, like IP or the image AMI. So those things it can be used in the further job process. So another thing is while you do a Terraform apply, it will also create a .tf state file, which is the property file of your instance, where everything is stored, like key, pair, whatever you are going to provide, and um, the properties like IP address and all those things, it will be stored in that file. You can use that file as well to read the values from that file, and you can use for the depending on your use case. Okay, now we comes to Ansible part. Ansible is nothing but your configuration management tool. So whatever uh, you want to do from configuration point of view, you can use this uh, Ansible tool. So it's a concept like master and slave concept. So master is nothing but your uh, the actual commander, which commands that these things I need to execute and these things I need to do on my slave machines. So we have two things available for Ansible. It's like your uh, it's called as inventory file, and the thing is your playbook. So inventory file is nothing but your configuration detail of your slave machines, like what is the IP address, what is the which private key or public key I want to use to access those machines, and if any specific Python version I need to use, you can mention there. You can name your node as well for the identity, node 1, node 2, all those things, and Ansible will read those inventory file, and it will understand that these are my uh, machines where I need to talk to them, and I need to do some kind of to-do list into those machines. And playbook is like the set of instructions what we are going to do in the slave machines, or you can say that slave nodes. So playbook is being written with using YML language. So it is very simple. Just you need to learn some of the syntaxes and commands as well, how to use them, and you can go with writing of your playbook. So the machine where your Ansible is going to be installed, that is called as your master machine, and your Ansible master and slave node all are communicating to your SSH SSH connection. I can say the SSH through SSH protocol, and to talk to those slave machines, if you were configuring through AWS EC2 instance, creating through EC2 instance, then you need to make sure your security groups to be enabled, like port 22 should be enabled so that they can talk to each other. Port 80 should be enabled so that if you are deploying any kind of web service, then those will be accessible publicly. And if you are going to configure your Jenkins also in the master machine, so you need to enable port 8080 for the master EC2 instance while creating. And if you are going to use HTTPS, then port 443 also needs to be enabled for that. So these things you need to take care while creating these slave nodes. So there are one more file, which is your configuration file of Ansible, where you need to mention that which inventory file I am going to use, so that it will read from that configuration file and it will reach to that uh, inventory file, which is called as hosts by default. You can create your own host file as well, and you can, wherever you are going to execute those playbooks, then you need to mention the host file explicitly, that this host file I need to be, for me you need to use this host file. And one more thing, while you create these slave nodes to communicate between one master node to slave node, we need to have that mechanism that both can talk to each other, so that the master machine can easily SSH to the slave machine. So that will be achieved by simply sharing the public key of your master machine with the slave nodes. So in the demo, that part will cover using Terraform itself, because that will be easy to do through Terraform. Previously, when we were doing Ansible session, we did it through copying the public key into the authorized key folder or authorized key file of the slave nodes. So here we will do bit different, like we'll use the Terraform script to achieve that goal. And while installing your Ansible, this is the by default, your Python will be also installed, because Ansible is dependent on Python. So if your machine has updated Python, so you need to mention that Python 3 using this interpreter. Yeah, and in the playbook you need to mention that which host file you need to in the host file, which section you have the IP address of your slave machine, like slave node or something, the nomenclature you need to use between your square brackets. And then you need to define what are the tasks I need to follow. Like if I want to install the Apache 2 on the slave node, so you need to mention that with your update cache gs, so that it will be execute the apt update command fast, then it will install the Apache 2 with the latest version. So if you want to change the index file of the Apache 2 with your own, so that can also be done using the copy content syntax, and you can write your own message in that, just for sake of cross checking that if everything goes fine and if it has been installed or not. So this is a bit overview, and these are the commands after creating your playbook in the Ansible. So if you execute this Ansible playbook, then your playbook name with -- syntax check, then it will check if indentation in that file is okay or not. If there is some problem, it will show you the error or warning with the line number, so that can be easily corrected. Then if everything goes fine, you can execute your Ansible playbook and playbook file name, so that it will work on your instructions mentioned in your playbook, and it will do the execution accordingly, like copy a file, or you want to install some software, or if you want to create an EC2 instance also using Ansible, so that can also be done. So how will you know that my master node and slave node is communicating properly or not, if the public key is already shared between these two or not? So this is the command Ansible-m ping all. It will show you if the connection is through, then it will respond with a text like ping pong with green color. So it will be helpful that everything is fine, the communication is established between master and slave node. Any questions in the Ansible part?
No.
Okay. So in the Jenkins part, so there are two plugins available for Terraform. It's a Terraform plugin, and for Ansible it is Ansible plugin. You simply go to that available plugins in your Jenkins, and you can simply install that Terraform, and also simply for the Ansible. So Terraform plugin mainly you can use while you are writing your defining your Jenkins pipeline. So it will be helpful to use this plugin. So if you are you can also if you create freestyle project also, so it will be easy to write simply the Terraform commands in the execute shell, and it will execute those Terraform commands uh, with, with the set of instructions whatever written in your .tf file. And similarly, the Ansible also works in the same format. Like if you go into your while configuring your job in the Jenkins, you can simply go to your build section, and in the drop down you can get the Ansible plugin. So there it is a their options are like include your Ansible playbook, and show you. So this is my Jenkins which is being deployed in your EC2 instance on AWS. And if I go to this configuration, so after you install the plugin, you will get these options: invoke Ansible ad hoc command, invoke Ansible playbook, and invoke Ansible vault. So if you do this invoke Ansible playbook, so you will give the path of this playbook, and everything is done. Provided your those playbook files are located in the same path. So you need to give this relative path with the playbook name, and you just simply give the save, and it will execute your playbook, and everything will be done. So how you'll use Ansible playbook in Jenkins? So you can also mention here the execute command section, that this command like Ansible ping m -m ping all. This command can be mentioned in your execute shell, so that it will be confirmed in your console that yes, my communication between master and slave is through, and then you can simply execute your playbook using that invoke playbook of Ansible. Okay, so now we can see the use case which I discussed in today's morning, that what we are going to do here in this demo. So we'll create an EC2 instance using the Terraform .tf file, where I will mention my access key, secret key, with region where I want to use it, and which image I am going to use it, with tag file. Then after creation of that, I need to extract the IP of that EC2 instance, and that EC2 instance IP will be used for Ansible to deploy my to install Apache 2 server in that EC2 instance. So it's like my Terraform and Ansible are being installed in a master machine, which is a EC2 instance, where Jenkins also being installed. And through Jenkins, we will create this execute this Terraform commands, and it will runtime create an EC2 instance, and we'll get the IP of that EC2 instance. So and we'll create an Ansible playbook where we are going to use those that EC2 instance as a slave node, and we'll install Apache 2 server there using Jenkins. So what are the commands we are going to use? So I am simply using execute shell only. So for simplicity of understanding, I am not going for pipeline Jenkins pipeline. I am simply executing through freestyle project, and these are the steps we need to follow to make this success. So simply I will write a bash script here, and this is my location of the Terraform file where it is being stored. So I need to first go into that directory, and then I will execute my Terraform initialization, then Terraform plan, then Terraform apply with auto approve, so that it will not wait for yes input. Then I am also going to define a output.tf file while creating my main.tf, or you can say ec2.tf to create the ec2. So after executing this command, it will store the IP in the output file, and simply I am extracting that output file from the output file IP of that ec2 instance and assigning to a variable. And here I am just simply printing the variable value whether I am getting the IP or not. Then I am executing the Ansible commands like Ansible -m ping all. -I is I am mentioning exclusively use these things as a inventory file. Since in the host file we are always mentioning the static IP, right, where the IP is not getting changed. But to make it success, you should always keep alive your EC2 instance. If you do stop that and reboot it, the IP will be changed, because that is a dynamic IP, DHCP IP, which AWS is allocating to the EC2 instances. Either you purchase, or either you have a elastic IP, or you can always 24/7 make that EC2 instance live to make it success. But in our case, this scenario will be like we did the development task, and now we are going to validate those build or those application in a environment runtime. And after the task is done, I am going to destroy that environment. So that IP will be your dynamic IP, and it will not save, or I am not going to keep alive that EC2 instance. So that is why I am not using the host file here, the inventory file for Ansible. I am simply passing the IP of the EC2 instance which is created in the runtime, and this is the option where with -I option you can use the command values, the parameter values, to execute Ansible playbook as well. So this is called as ad hoc command in Ansible. And if this is success, Ansible -m ping all, that means my all the nodes are getting communicated with master, and then I am going to execute my playbook with the playbook name and with proper location. Then I'm going to use the same IP, because if you see in the host file, we have to give the IP address, the private key through which it will communicate with the EC2, the slave node, and I'm explicitly mentioning that my Python interpreter should be Python 3. So these three things I need to I'm providing through command line, so that it will simply deploy the Apache 2 server in the slave node. Okay, so let's do this on the AWS console. So here is my EC2 instance where I have did all these configurations. Okay, so this is my public IP 147, and this is my private IP. So this is my private IP. So I have already logged in into that machine here. Yeah. So this is my EC2 instance where I have installed all the necessary things like Jenkins. Also I have in this. I have installed Ansible also here, and I have also installed Terraform. So if you see /etc Ansible, so I have Ansible installed here, and the steps to how to install Ansible, how to install Terraform, it is already been covered in our previous sessions. Okay, so you can follow those videos or those set of instructions if you can easily do that. So if I am going to here use Ansible hyphen version, so it will simply show that this version, so your Ansible is installed in your machine. Okay, simply same thing, Terraform version. So it will show you the which Terraform version you have if it is properly installed. Okay, and before starting the Jenkins job, you need to simply run the Jenkins server by using this command java-jar and that .jenkins var file. Like this. Okay, so here this installation also been covered in a lecture, so you can follow that. I hope you all know. And here Ansible is installed, Terraform is installed, and your Jenkins is also installed. So now the next step is I am going to create that Terraform file to uh, create the EC2 instance. So here if you see, I have different functions. We did some input variable exercise as well. We did some demo as well. So this is my directory where my Terraform file is been stored. So I'm just going to Terraform lab. Okay. So if you see here, so I have two files, ec2.tf and outputs.tf. And also since I have executed it previously, so there is also a .tf state file also been created where every properties of this EC2 is being stored. And this is the backup file. So I think it is being created while when your instance is being destroyed. So if I look into the main file, which is your ec2.tf, let's see what is there in that. So I am giving here the provider is AWS, and this is of course I have hard coded, but you can use the variable also concept. The reason is you need to mention the reason. Then the second block is your resource AWS instance, which is your this is the AWS instance. I am saying this is the name of my AWS instance. This is the image which I am going to use. So here I am using Ubuntu 20.04 LTS. So just make sure with this reason which image is being available, that you need to mention here. This is the type of your instance, and here is the key name, which is basically your .pem file, or you can say that your secret key file. You can mention your previously created key file as well here, but here for security point of view I am creating a new key file so that I can use the public key of this as a authorization for this EC2 instance to make the SSH connection available. So this is the key name. You can mention whatever you want to give a name here. It will simply create this file. This file you need to create prior to this. So simply use SSH keygen and the file name should be this. I will show you how to do that. And this is the tag name of my EC2 instance which is going to be created. And now here I am mentioning the which key pair I am going to use and what public key I am going to use for this to be added to this EC2 instance so that SSH connection is feasible. So this is the name of that key file. This is same. Here I am giving the public key. Public key I can copy from the console where this is being generated, and here I am mentioning the public key file path. So this is simply SSH hyphen keygen. If you enter it, it will ask you for simply ask you for a file name. You can simply give a file name here, and that file name you are going to use it. Oh, how to exit from here? Okay. Let's see. Yeah, it's exited. So that file name when it's being generated, it's like if you see. So let's L. So sorry. Here it is being created my file, which is this one. So if you go into this vi terraform key.pub. So this you need to copy from here, and you just simply mention it in your script, the terraform file. And here I have copied this public IP, and the same file name I have mentioned here as well, and here and here. Okay, so this secret key and access key is nothing but your user which you have created while installing your before installing your Terraform in the EC2 instance. So that access key and secret key you can mention it here, or you can simply use the variable concept here, or you can simply use the Jenkins console as well to pass it in the runtime, or you can use AWS Vault as well to store those credentials, and at the runtime you can load those credentials in your job. So there are a lot of ways to do that. So for simplicity of this demo, I have simply put all those secret keys in that file, and just let's see what is how our output.py file looks like. So here simply I have mentioned output. The format is like this, syntax output, and this is your instance public IP name, so that it will be accessible through this. And this is your AWS instance, its name, where you have mentioned in the main.tf file, and this is the public IP. So the public IP part of your EC2 instance will be stored here. Okay. So if you go into that tf file again, So this is the name where you need to mention AWS instance dot Terraform Terra underscore VM4, then dot public IP, public underscore IP. So this is done from Terraform side. These two files are ready now. So now you can we can simply do one thing. We can simply change the name. Let's see. We can do like Terraform VM5, and here I'm going to use 5, and here everything is fine. So what it will do, it will so the beauty of this Terraform is like, now I'm going to create another EC2 instance. So this is my EC2 instance which is already exists and which is running. Now I'm using the same Terraform file, and I'm going to create I'm just updating this tag name and the instance name in the file. But Terraform will not overwrite these things. Terraform will destroy this and it will create another EC2 instance. Okay, so that is the mutable immutable concept comes in this picture. Okay, so here I have sorry, it's changed or not? No, it's not changed. Okay, I need to open it with sudo privileges, and here I'm going to do 5. No, this everything is fine now. Cross check 5, yeah. And let's change in the output.pf as well, because there also we have mentioned the name of this EC2 instance, Terra VM5. Here we need to 5. Okay. So now I'm going to use this Terraform plan. See, it is showing that this will be destroyed. This EC2 instance VM4 will be destroyed, and your new EC2 instance will be created, whose name is VM5. Okay, with tag name this and everything. Okay. See, this output, change to output. This is also being visible here. The output file, how it will be shown after your apply command will execute. So I am now simply doing Terraform apply and hyphen auto approve. So it will not ask me for any yes option to enter. It will simply deploy it, simply execute my Terraform file. So it is saying it is destroying and creating. So if you see in the EC2 console, see, this is now shutting down and this is now is being created VM5. So let's wait for that. Now it is running, and you can see this is the public IP and this is the private IP. Okay. So now it is showing that one resource added, one destroyed. Okay. So this is the public IP now 218, and this is, you can see the 218 of this public IP. So I can use this public IP in the further when I'm going to use the Ansible. So let's check how Ansible file looks like. So if I go into ls etc Ansible, so here there are two files mainly, hosts and ansible.config file. So if I go into your config file, here I have just uncommented the inventory file host and the sudo agent, although it is not required because while executing through Jenkins I am not going to use this host file, because I am just simply giving the ad hoc commands in the console. And then we can see that since we are not using host file, so no need to see host file. We just simply see the playbook file, which is located here. Which is your this one, apache2.yml, and we can see what is written in this. So here I am simply giving simple playbook, the name of this file, hosts all. So while executing the ad hoc commands for playbook, you need to mention host is all. Then only it will execute. If you mention the host files node name here, so it will throw you error, it will not execute. So this is the standard we need to follow, and we need to mention the task as install Apache 2, and here is the I'm saying this is update cache is yes, that means your sudo apt update, it will be run here, and then your name is Apache 2 and the latest version will be used. Then I'm modifying the index.html with this one. Welcome to Ansible session. You can simply edit it. Welcome to welcome. Sorry, I need to open it through sudo privileges. This is your Mac. So save it. Now we can simply run the ping command to see if it is working or not. So ansible -m ping all with your this will be your -i, then your public IP of this EC2 instance, which is your this, okay. And you need to mention it like this. Comma this. And then you need to give the private key is this one. So copy from here. So this is since this is present in my home Ubuntu, so I am just giving the proper path of this. So let's see if it works or not. Yes. See. So now since the ping pong is green, that means the communication between these two instance, this and your this is okay. Now we can simply execute our playbook from here. Okay, so I'm not going to execute playbook here. I will execute through Jenkins. So let's see if this is, if I access now this in the console in the URL, what it shows. So it is showing nothing, right? Because we have not installed anything here now. No application is here. So before that, I'm just going to tell you one more thing. So while doing this activity, before doing this activity, just make sure go to your security group, and with your default security group, you just attach these two inbound rules like SSH and HTTP, so that it will easy to SSH that EC2 instance which is being created using this default security group, and also will able to access the HTTP on the URL. So you can do this also by through your Terraform script as well. You can mention the define the security group with all the details, ingress, outgress, and ingress and egress with your protocol and your port details. So it will be something like this. It will be something like this. So you can mention like this as well in the script. Okay. So now we'll do the execute this from Terraform from Ansible. So here what I mentioned, whatever the execution we did so far, we have simply written in the same thing. So you go to you create a job, before that install the plugins Ansible and Terraform, and you go to this execute cell, and here you need to mention the directory from where you need to execute your Terraform file, then initialize that, then you can execute the Terraform plan, then Terraform apply auto approve. These things we executed just now in the EC2 console. And then what I am doing, Terraform output IP is being stored in the variable, so that variable will be used in the Ansible -i, the IP address, and this is the same. And now this is the syntax for Ansible playbook. So just one more thing I want to confirm, if I execute this, whether it will pick the same thing or not which we have modified. Okay, let's see and do it. Ansible playbook, remove it, save. Okay, it should be this is my, okay, this IP address got changed. No, it is still there. It is like this. No problem. Let's see if the server is running. There is no problem. Yes. And restarting to. Now let's see if it works. No problem. Alright. Security group. One role is usually intact. We open role. Yes. Is here. Oh, sorry. So go to the configuration again and see if everything is fine or not. Yes, it's okay. Then simply go to this and do build now and see how it works. So yeah, it is success. So if you look into this console log, so it is simply doing this workspace, and here it is extracting the Terraform version. Then it will execute your refreshing state, and this is your infrastructure is up to date, and because there is no change we did now in the infrastructure, so it is nothing has been changed here. Here the output is the public IP of your EC2 instance, which we already saw while we did do the manual execution, and then it is printing your hello plus your variable. Then it has executed the playbook. Okay, so now if we access this, it should so what is wrong with this, because executed and single file no host match. Okay, let's see in the configuration if anything specific we have given in that command. Let me see if this console output is able to sorry, let me see, right, if the ping is success or not. This is done, this is done. and his IP address if recently is provided host list is empty, only localhost is available. Yes, there is some problem in this line. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, IP. Okay. Okay, let's see if this works. Terraform output. Okay. Okay, let's see what is wrong with this. Terraform public is same way. Okay, let me see. One more command we can use this keep state. So this is public IP, if it is there, then why it is not getting IP? Okay, let me execute. Terraform apply. Hmm. Okay, let's debug here itself where this IP is somehow it is not getting reached to that. VI is Terra VM5 is Terra VM5 is the AWS instance name. What is the problem? Backup. Let's see. Considering I can playbook and paste it here and simply give this IP address. God. IP address is this. here there will be a comma and so from here it is working fine, but from Jenkins we are getting some issue because I think this IP is not getting and Civil is not getting this IP, this var variable, because this is not
Hey, Vaibhav, can I see
enough.
the output.tf file?
Yeah. Okay. Just I'm waiting for this to complete and then we'll see. So this worked already, and we'll see if this is visible now. Yes, it is visible from here, and now we can see vi output start here. Yes.
So the variable name which you are using is not correct. You are supposed to be use instance hyphen public IP. You are just using IP.
Okay.
Terraform output instance hyphen public hyphen IP. That will give you the instance IP address.
In Jenkins you are saying, right? Here. Instance public
Yes.
IP. Yeah.
Yeah. There is no such
This,
name called IP.
this,
Yes.
this.
So if you run this command from your console, you will get the IP and that will get assigned to the variable.
Let's do that. We run this
Yeah,
command.
try that.
Yes. Thanks, Manju.
You're welcome.
Save it. Let's do one thing. Let's change this. Here we can change some version value 0. Then you can see yes, now it is printing. Yeah. Yeah, success. One changed from Ansible it is saying, and now we can refresh and it should show version 40. Yeah. Okay, so this will be the final configuration. We did that mistake and after that it is fine. Okay, so this is any questions, guys? So I think this is all I wanted to communicate for this integration part. Any questions?
No.
No.